Hello, this is Dr. Janet Hall, and I'm a clinical psychologist and a hypnotherapist and the author of 8 books, 6 of which are on parenting. And in the early 2000s I was shocked to find that the same week that I was to bring out my book Fear-Free Children, we had that devastating news about the aircraft and the accidents and the terrorists in the States. And in the book I had put this challenge. How do you explain to your children that the next world war won't destroy them? Does it make any difference anymore now that we have media that is so instant that something might be happening on the other side of the globe? Children are very canny. They know that with nuclear warfare there would be no hope of survival. So as a parent, how can you monitor your children's TV watching so that they don't see extreme and terrifying real-life events? You have to be careful. You see, I was writing a book to help parents understand and assist their children with their fear. It's my intention that I'm going to make a series of tips, videos now, short videos that you can watch and just kind of fill up on with information and inspiration for how to help your children with their fear. You have to learn how to set realistic expectations and confidence levels for both children and for you as a parent. You have to know how fears are categorized and developed and when they become a concern. It's good to know what things can go wrong and how to avoid that, and strategies for helping kids with their anxiety and fears, and sometimes when you need to get professional coaching. So the fundamental philosophy of the book Fear-Free Children is that the best teachers of children are their own parents, and the best protection against fear is education, understanding, communication and compassion. It is a challenge for parents to walk the fine line between allowing children to take risks and protecting them from harm. But children need to learn to protect themselves. They also need to learn that learning comes from taking risks and succeeding, and from making mistakes and correcting them and bouncing back with resilience next time. Children who have confidence are less vulnerable to fear. So with the first tip for you, it's to be able to anticipate and monitor your child's reactions. If there is some kind of trauma, the first emotion that's likely is that they would be very, very scared. And the psychological basis for that is the thought that, what if this bad thing happens to us? Children also may take on some guilt, where they think that maybe it was my bad behaviour that caused these things. Maybe it's my fault. Children also might feel anger and confusion. Why do those bad people do this? And why don't adults who I trust, why doesn't the grown-ups who I live with protect us and stop these bad people? And also for a feeling of despair, sadness and hopelessness, where the child thinks there's nothing I can do to make my world safe, so I might as well give up. And children across different age groups react in different ways. Preschool and littlies will often have regression to baby behaviours like sucking their thumb or wetting their bed, or crying, whinging and wanting to get into the parents' bed. And primary school age children, they can be actually stirrers. Like the Chicken Little who thought the sky was falling in. You know, they go to primary school and they all talk about it. It's horrible, it's terrible, and we should all be scared. Some of those primary school children will get sore tummies and headaches and physically somatic reactions, and that actually carries across with teenagers. Because teenagers are preoccupied with looking good and being cool, they might look like they're fine, there's nothing wrong, but you might find that they'll uncharacteristically explode at something really, really minor. They might find it's hard to get out of bed, and they might, obviously their schoolwork could be negatively influenced. So you have to expect that when kids are scared, they will fear something happening to them, and they don't want their parents out of their sight. They may change from being quiet and obedient to noisy and rude, and they may lose trust in adults. So here's your #1 tip as being a parent helping these scared kids. Promise fearful children that you will do your utmost. It's a promise that you will always take care of them, no matter what happens. Reassure this to them many, many times throughout the day, and especially at night when you give them that good night cuddle and kiss and tell them, Mummy and Daddy love you very much. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to giving you tip #2.